Hi everyone. I didn't really come on prepared to make a video. I kind of like just, had some thoughts and I wanted to talk more about that. So, WGTOW. So I've been, looking at different things. Everyone has their own idea of how dating should go, how women should feel about um like men and relationships and that sort of thing. So this is my thoughts on it. There's certain things like I don't want to say like I just have my personal opinion, which is that I think that people should stick with their own. I think white people should be with white people, Asian people should be with Asian people, and black people should be with black people, and so on. So what's going on now is that I noticed that a lot of races and genders, they do want to sleep with black men. I don't know if they want to marry them, commit themselves to black men, but I know that, the gay men are sleeping with them and all these other races. And I think if you're a decent black woman and you want to be with someone who looks like you, right? Um, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. I have my tea over here. The weather is changing. The weather is changing over here where I am. So, what was I gonna say? I'm trying to get my thoughts together. When it comes to WGTOW, I think that women should exercise their right to choose. And I reflected over the past 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, when I think about the pros and cons of dating men, I realize that men bring on a lot of stress in a woman's life. So, I was following a lady at one point and she was like, oh, you should date men just to get money from them, just continue acting. But how long are you going to do that? You're going to do that until you die? Oh, hi. Oh, I didn't know someone's here. It's not showing up on my screen that someone's here. Um, so there's a lady who says, oh, you should be with men just to take money from them. I think if you're a good person, you don't want to take advantage of men. When I think about certain things like what Cardi B said about drugging men and taking money from men, I don't know how you could live with yourself as a decent person. I don't know how you can live with yourself as, wanting to be a decent person, knowing that you've done these things to people. I'm a very spiritual person. I have a relationship with God. I talk to God on a regular basis. Sometimes, I do read the Bible, or other spiritual readings to get an understanding of other people's meanings of life. Like when I say that, I mean other spiritual leaders out here that have their own perspective. I kind of So I look at all these spiritual readings. There's a book I'm reading right now called, I believe it's called the Spiritual Laws of Success, and it's very enlightening. I do recommend people read that. And I'm still reading it now, but I've learned so much in a short time, and I'm only within the first 2 or 3, chapters of the book. And I've noticed a couple of things that have been very healing for me in terms of women going their own way. Number one, getting close with God is very important. Number two, having time to yourself, like having time to meditate. Thirdly, exercise. I haven't even been exercising as much lately. I'm actually gonna start going to the gym tomorrow. Again, but I do my little workouts here and there, but not as aggressively as before. But working out is very therapeutic to relieve stress. My experience with men, they have good intentions. I feel like men have good intentions, but the problem is that they don't have enough knowledge of what women want. And they kind of feel like every woman is the same. And I know that there are a lot of negative representations of black women and black men of late, but there's still a lot of good black women and a lot of good black men out here. It's unfortunate because I'm one of those people that I don't know if you know these terms, but I'm gonna say theosexual, and I think they call it demisexual, where I have to feel mentally and emotionally connected with someone to even feel like I want to be close to them. And I think that is a missing factor in a lot of people's views when it comes to dating. You have to have a mental and emotional connection with a person in order to feel like you can be whole with them. Another thing why I'm going my own way is that compassion. I don't think that a lot of Black people forgive each other. I know when they get with other people, I think it's because they don't know the culture that well. They kind of say, okay, well, I don't know if this is something cultural, or maybe this is something like, oh, they really want this person because this is something new, and something new is always going to be exciting. So I think a lot of times they give leeway because they're like, oh, when am I going to have an opportunity to be with maybe this race of people again? Because I can see that too, because there are some, for example, like if a Black man has never been with an Asian woman before, and then they get the opportunity to be with an Asian woman, they're thinking in their mind, oh, when will I be with another Asian woman again? And I think that puts them in a spot where they kind of like compromise what they would normally do, even if they were in a relationship with a Black woman. They feel like, oh, I can, as a black man, I can get another Black woman again. That might be a little easier to get than if I get, an Asian or an Indian or Arab or something, which is, culturally that's a little bit harder to get because they have certain, things, principles or whatever. They're raised with certain principles that they usually tend to follow, and they usually try to stick with their own. Um, it's sad because I was watching some movies from the 1950s and 1960s, and I saw how a lot of the Black women were, they were very feminine and caring, sweet. They had ambition, but you could tell that they were the softer side of the male counterpart. But at the same time, men took on a responsibility, like they wanted to nurture that femininity in a woman. Now I see a lot of women doing they don't even love themselves. I recently saw a video. Oh, let me read what's on the side here. Hold on. Oh yeah, yeah. Exercise is very important for your physical and mental health. And I think that's something you should do, strive to do every day. It doesn't have to be intense every day. I think, walking or walking for at least an hour, power walking, full intensity is good. Sometimes I do Qigong, which is Tai Chi. Sometimes I'll do that, or I'll do yoga, or I'll do weights. I'll do different things, to mix it up. But I think a day shouldn't go by without you having a period of time where you have intentional working out. Not, even if you say, okay, I'm going to do household cleaning, do as much as you can, make sure you're moving for several hours. You can mix it up. Just make sure that you're moving. It's very important to your mental health, so you don't have anxiety, you don't have depression, and also for your physical health, you don't want to get ailments, because if your blood isn't flowing, you can a lot of it's important for your blood to flow throughout your body every single day, and if it's stagnant, that will bring on disease, illness. So stress, I wish I had those notes now, but I feel like stress is the number one killer, and I do encourage women to exercise going their own way if they feel like men are adding additional stress to their life. I think that, I think about all the times that I haven't been with someone as opposed to being with someone. And I feel like I've endured so much stress dealing with men because I have a caring nature. So if you have a caring nature and you want to forgive someone or you want to understand them, I mean, that's her fault. I mean, I wouldn't deal with anyone cheating on me or anything like that. Sorry, something popped up here. I wouldn't deal with any kind of cheating. But if you say, okay, this person is trying, but then you realize there's no compatibility, then why should you try to force a connection? You shouldn't. And that is stressful once you go against that spirit inside of you, because that's what you're doing, because now you're compromising yourself to accommodate somebody else's ways that you don't necessarily agree with, just because they say to you that they love you. Someone can love you, but you guys may not be right for each other. The principles are not the same, the foundations, the things that you want for the future. If you have a family or you have children, if you guys are not on the same page with that, it's not gonna work. I can tell you that right up front. You guys have to really talk about stuff like that. If you know that a man says to you right up front, like, hey, he just wants to have casual relationship with you need to listen to that and let it go. If you know you can't live with it, don't try to say, oh, later on, maybe he'll come around. He's not gonna come around. Most of the time, I'm gonna tell you something about men. They know what they want, and they don't care if it's right and they don't care if it's wrong. They're gonna go for it if they want it. Now, at certain times, like if they're a man of God, they may think twice and try to resist certain temptations. But if they didn't grow up with any real morals or they didn't grow up with God in their life or thoughts of God, then that's pretty much it. They're going by what they feel. Men don't really show discipline. They're not even encouraged to show discipline because it's like a pack mentality. The men tell them, oh, sleep with all these women or, you know, go after money. Or nothing's wrong with going after money. But I'm saying like it shouldn't be your mantra. There shouldn't be something that you're living and dying and breathing by. There's like a spiritual side that you need to work on. And I think that will lead you in the right direction. If you have a connection with God, then the money will come, the right people will come into your life. And a lot of people want to get distracted by always having someone there. You can't always have a significant other. There has to be a time where you have to reflect on your previous relationships. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you think you want for the future? Sometimes you have to look at your life and say to yourself, listen, maybe I just need to focus on a career, making sure that I'm monetarily you could take care of yourself and make yourself happy. Because sometimes these men can't do it. They're not capable, even if in their heart they want to. They just may not have the resources to do it, and it's not going to be enough. So if you know you can't deal with, you know, a minimalist lifestyle. Let's say he's some guys, they don't even buy outfits every day. They have like the same t-shirt or the same sweatpants or whatever that they wear all the time. They're not into buying any clothes or putting themselves, keeping themselves up. That's not on their mind. And they're gonna expect to be with someone who may be a little more conscious in that way. You can't have it both ways. So just using that as an example. But yeah, you have to really look at that. I don't think it should be like, oh, because I'm going my own way that I hate men. I don't hate men. I just don't want to deal with the stress. And I'll be friendly to you, but I already know it's not gonna work because I require I require I require so I don't even think it's a lot. Like it's so funny because to me, I don't think it's a lot, but some guys think it is a lot. Some do. Not all. They try their best, but I feel like I don't know. I just basic things. Can you be faithful? Can you be fun? Can we have a conversation together and understand each other? Can we love each other? Can we keep things between us? I know there's some people out here that feel like the whole world has to be in their relationship. Nobody has to know your business. You can't keep a secret. I just say you can't keep certain things to yourself. I grew up like whatever stays at home, whatever happens at home stays at home. And now like everything's changing. A lot of people just feel like they can bring all their business out on Front Street. I'm like, don't you have any pride? Don't you have any self-love? Why would you go and put things that are private out there for other people, for other people out here to they're going to use it against you because they don't care. They don't feel that compassion that people used to have maybe 20 or 30 years ago is not there. They don't have that. I don't know if I could see someone who is just in pain. Like I don't know if you guys saw the story about this black man who stomped on this old lady. She was in on the train and she was sitting in the two-seater, and he kept kicking her and nobody went over there to try to help. I don't think he's going to be able, if six black men went after that one black man, I don't think he's going to go crazy and start wilding out if a whole bunch of you go over there to defend that one lady, and to see that that could be your mother, that could be your grandmother. I'm like that stuff just like it hurts me. It hurts me like to the core to see that happening, because I would never think like a whole bunch of men could see an old lady get beaten up while she's sleeping on the train. It's shocking. I don't know. And then there was another story that I saw about this lady who, this bus driver who is, she didn't know what was going on. These children are bad. The parents, they don't know how to raise children. It's almost like children raising children. It's that, that hood mentality, that street mentality. They don't have any morals. I don't know who's to blame for that. I don't know if it's because there was no father in the household, so you're not able to pass on certain things from generation to generation. Hilda, hi. So you're not able to pass on certain information generation to generation. One thing I could tell you is that other groups of people, they have traditions, and those traditions that they've learned, throughout life, the grandparents, the great grandparents were able to pass on important information, that they know how to handle things later on in life. They're not surprised, they're not blindsided by certain things. So when I see these stories, it's because we're not educating our children on what to expect. And one thing is, I don't know if you guys heard about the young guy. He was 20 years old, and he went somewhere. He met some white girl somewhere at a bar, and they started making out. And whatever it was, it never went farther than making out. Maybe they, fooled around a little bit, but they didn't have sex. So I don't know what possessed her to go to the police and file a report on him, but she filed a report on him that he raped her, and he's going to be in jail for 12 years. 12 years for just this girl telling the police that she was raped, and it never happened. His life is over. He's 20 years old. He's going to get out at 32. I mean, that's the end. To me, that's the end. Your 20s are the years that you experiment with all kinds of things, just exposing yourself to everything, culturally, sexually, everything. So you can be able to see what's right and what's wrong, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So I don't know what's going to happen to us. I fear for what's going to happen to Black people, because they're not really, a lot of people are not really aware of the dangers, because they don't have critical thinking. They cannot read between the lines and see what these other groups are doing, and they don't care. If you think these people are going to fight for you and die for you, they're not. They don't even feel connected to us. Some of these people don't even, look at us with humanity. They look at their animals more like, they'll cry and die and fall down for their animals, but if they see a Black person or a brown person, out on the street, and that's not only other races, our own people too, they could see us in pain and not do anything. And even to see the story about, you remember the other story about the black lady who got punched in her face 5-6 times. Like, I heard that she did break his, she broke his window, the gentleman. I mean, come on, he's a strong, you're a man. Like, even if she broke his window, I'm not saying it's right, she was definitely wrong for that, but did you have to punch her in her face 5 times? I mean, I understand if he grabbed her and he shook her and gripped her or something, but to punch her like a man is, I don't know if it calls for all of that, but then she should have known better. I think that Black women need to stop challenging men in terms of fighting. That should not. Why would you as a woman think that you could fight a man? Even a slim guy, even if you're a big woman and a man is slim, once he puts that force on you, it's it's not the same. You really remember that you're a woman right then once he puts that force on you. You have to be smart about it. You can't have it both ways. You can't fight men and then you want them to treat you like a lady. It doesn't work. Because right now, those kind of rough women, those animalistic women, are putting women who are not like that in danger. Women who don't want to fight men, women who are not interested in even being in a fight, period, are not interested in this kind of rough lifestyle, you're putting those women at risk because you don't know how to control yourself. So I would say I'm an advocate for WGTOW. I think people should go there. Women should go their own way, and whatever it is, respectfully think about what it means to live a stress-free life. Stress kills you faster than bad eating habits. It kills you faster than not exercising. It even will kill you faster than taking drugs. I promise you. Stress is the number one killer, and I think women feel stress much more much more than men do. Men handle stress way better. Like I don't know what it is. Like they don't hold on to thoughts of certain things. Like they'll see what's going on, they'll have their assessment on it, and then move on to other things. Women hold on to stuff, and they think about it, and they think about it, and they replay it in their mind. And then, even though it's not happening right there and then, the fact that you're repetitively thinking about it, your body is feeling that stress again. It's feeling the same stress as if it just happened. If it, as the first time, I'm sorry, your body feels that same stress every time you reflect and remember that incident or what people said or what people did, and it affects you. You think it doesn't affect your health because you're able to walk every day, stand up every day, and operate every single day. But when these things happen, it doesn't affect you that same day. It'll affect you like 10 or 15 years later. You'll feel it. Or you hear people dying, women dying in their 40s. Why would you die in your 40s or 50s? That's very young. And a lot of that has to do with stress. So, pretty much this video is over. And in regards to your mental, emotional, and spiritual health, you should go your own way. If you can't find a man that's going to protect you and truly love you, and I mean, it's definitely hard because, I mean, in terms of loving you, putting all things aside, um, when it comes to a woman's body, I feel like men put a lot of emphasis on how a woman's body is shaped, or if they have a fat butt, if they have big breasts, or if they have big hips, or if they have big thighs, or whatever it is that they're into, right? And women have a lot of pressure to fulfill those needs from men, and it's a lot of pressure. I kind of feel like if you don't date men, or I mean, not as opposed to dating women or anything, I'm just saying that you decide to stop dating and just focus on you, then you can develop self-love. Because if you're looking for these men to validate you, validate your sex appeal, or validate your beauty, or validate your worth, all you're going to do is be under continuous stress every day, because you're going to be thinking about, what do I need to do to get bigger breasts, the fat butt? I mean, how many surgeries are you going to have, and what's going to happen to your body later on after you have these surgeries? I don't think women who have these surgeries, their body stays the same. Something happens once they transfer fat to other areas and suck things out of other areas. I don't know how their body turns out over a long period of time, but I know like something changes that it starts getting out of control. That's true. God has to be number one. God has to be number one. He's my strength. He's my strength. I can't afford to look. Men can't be a woman's god because they fall short. Even a priest, a minister, all these higher ups in the church, they're human too. They go through the same things we go through, those temptations. So you can't even say, you can take the good out of the situation. Just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go to church, understand the word, take what I can, the good that I can from this experience that I'm having at church or any kind of spiritual event, and just keep it moving. Because I've heard some stories about some of these ministers and priests also. I know it's not all of them, but it happens. And you have to remember, he's a man or she's a woman or whoever it is that's, leading the congregation, and they are battling their own sins as well. So um, if you guys have any questions or comments, this would be a good time because I'm actually going to end the video now. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. I hope that everyone continues to get closer with God, continue to read as many spiritual books as you can. Reading is the best way to get information. Sometimes you can come on here, on YouTube or some other sources on Google to read or listen to other people. But really, if you read books, I feel like that is the top way to really get a deeper understanding, to meditate on the word, to meditate on these spiritual philosophies and really see how it applies to life every single day. And I'm not saying, you have to be, it's kind of funny because you have to be a warrior at the same time. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to pray and pray and pray. No, you have to be ready to fight what you believe in as well. You have to fight for whatever you believe in. So WGTOW or MGTOW, if men feel like they, women are not a positive force in their life, then definitely, reevaluate that. Think about the woman you want. I would say get a manifestation journal and write things down. Have this vision, visualize it, meditate on it, and I'm sure it'll come to you. And just live your life. Do something every day to make yourself happy, to make sure that you feel good every day. Even if that means taking a bath, going in the bath and just putting some Epsom salt in the bath, playing some jazz music and just relax your mind. If that's the only good thing that can make you happy that day, fine. If you want to have, I don't know, some kind of treat, a fruit salad or something with some vanilla yogurt, vanilla, oh yeah, vanilla yogurt, so it's fine, or vanilla ice cream, whatever, and that's your happiness for the day. Make sure that every day you do at least one thing that's going to make you happy, and I promise you that life will get better that way. I do that. I make sure that there's at least one thing that I do every single day to put a smile on my own face. You can't rely on other people to make you happy. Other people are just here to add on to your happiness, not to come into your life to make you completely happy. That's not what they're there for. All right, thank you, and thank you for spending time with me. Bye.